GLC is now offering a free audio stream of our 24/7 broadcast that we're calling GLC Radio, an online radio station that broadcasts our round-the-clock audio stream on a variety of platforms. GLC Radio gives you the ability to listen to GLC virtually anywhere, through your home or office computer, or on the go with a mobile device. You can access GLC Radio through our website or by searching for God's Learning Channel through iTunes Internet Radio, TuneInRadio.com, or on Shoutcast.com. Explore various GLC Radio-enabled mobile apps by visiting our website at glc.us.com/listen/GLC Radio. GLC Radio, your free connection to GLC anywhere, anytime.
Well, praise God and welcome to Weekend Update. An exciting week, and it's going to get more interesting as time goes by.
Amen. Things are very interesting. If you're able to see me right now, then you may not even know that this has happened. Although you might, because you might have lost us for a while and then gotten us back. Because yesterday afternoon, we disconnected from the SES Satellite. We've been telling you that contract ended at the end of October, and so we had to turn it off yesterday. Yep. And so I know that our cable system at home was affected, and then it got fixed, and so it's back on at the house, and I'm really happy for that. But
and let me tell them about Alamogordo.
Okay, and Ruidoso.
Ruidoso. They called us this morning and said, what happened? I told them, and I said, I can send you coordinates. Have you got any equipment to do it with? Yeah, we do it. To send us the coordinates. They did it. They're back on within 2 hours, and we're celebrating it.
Right. So
TDS.
We have some of the equipment ordered. Randall will be getting on the road Monday and heading west and north and begin some of the transitions now. And so that's good news. But we're still lacking funds. We still need funds. And this right here that's on the screen is the banner that Mason has done for the website, alerting everyone that we have gone off the SES. And so there's a lot of areas that are not able to pick us up right now. And so we're asking that the viewers in all the other areas come to the aid of their countrymen. And let's get this puppy taken care of, you know? Yep. So, but we're seeing God do some miraculous things anyway. And, you know, I just really want to remind everybody what the Lord told me sitting on the couch during Roundup about why he set GLC up the way he did for it to be viewer supported. Because his ways are not our ways. And his thoughts are not our thoughts. Otherwise, we'd be selling airtime and maybe be on a beach in Hawaii.
Maybe so.
However, that's not the way he wanted it. Because GLC is truth. Where we don't see truth, we remove it. But this is what the Lord has been telling me. The viewers are recognizing that truth is coming out of GLC. They are responsible for my truth. That's God talking. Because we are responsible to promote his truth. Corporately. I'm not saying we as in me, mom, and dad, and everybody who is serving at GLC.
Right.
We are talking about every single person who calls on the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
Truth is our responsibility. The truth, you know, when you look at it and you go, well, you know, my cable system hasn't been affected, so why should I care? Because, you know, for a couple thousand years, there's been a lot of non-truth that has really affected the church. And now God has finally raised up a television station that is committed to telling the truth and standing firmly with Israel. And if you understand that truth, it's up to you to propagate that truth.
That's right.
Because you can't say, well, maybe they won't get to see it. Well, they won't get to see it if it's not on the air.
That's right.
And I was telling Mom this morning, I really have a hard time watching secular TV at all. Even Fox News. I really have a hard time with any of it.
I do too.
But how? Because it's just so many commercials and so much noise and so much that sometimes I'm just like, I just can't take it. Even though I might know that I'm going to be watching A Light of the Southwest repeating because I've already watched it earlier last night, I don't care. I want the peace that comes through the airwaves of GLC. Mm-hmm. And how many times have you personally been seeking God on something? You've been asking him about something. And you turn on GLC and there's your answer. That actually happened to me today.
Today?
Today, that happened.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is why all of us are responsible. We see that God uses this as a feeding trough for his sheep.
That's right. For sure.
So I just want to thank you for getting behind us and linking arms with all of your brothers and sisters throughout the world.
Amen.
To keep this on the air. One of the bills that I had to pay today, or they're shutting it off, is the $2,200 bill that covers our internet. Oh, but then there's another $900 bill. The internet alone, live stream, is costing me about $3,000 a month. Mm-hmm. So it's not free. Might be free to you guys out there, but there again, if that's not available, people can't watch it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I also want to thank you for being a promoter of GLC and telling your friends and your family about it. And your cable system. So we're going to get back to that right now, because one of the cable systems that we heard from that we're off in that area, we know it. It's PTCI up in the panhandle of Texas. Oklahoma. So if you know anybody who's in that area, let them know. It is crucial, absolutely crucial, that they contact their cable system. Don't just call us, call your cable system. Anybody you know who loves GLC, have them call. Because not all of them want to do what needs to be done.
What needs to be done. Mm-hmm.
So there you are.
Okay. It's an interesting day we're living in.
But I can tell you that we have actually had Comcast in New Mexico call us. And that is nothing short of a miracle.
Wow.
And that's because the viewers are calling them.
Uh-huh.
So, hallelujah.
Yeah.
We're seeing God do some things we never expected to see.
Well, the headquarters of Comcast may like to, but these people are the managers like in Silver City and Deming. Mm-hmm. I talked to them today.
Well, what the viewers want makes a difference.
Right.
When you're a big muckety-muck up in the top of one of these huge companies and you see, well, it's a religious TV station, it's a Christian TV station, you are automatically going to lump it in with every other Christian network that there is and go, why do we need another one? Mm-hmm. But TLC isn't like any other one. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take the viewers telling them that to get it across to them.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, there you are.
You want to tell us what the weekend lineup's going to be?
Oh, well, I guess so, but I have an announcement before that.
All right.
Judy Reamer has been in the house this week.
Yes.
For the third time she's been back to GLC. And I did a Light of the Southwest with her yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yesterday. And that will be airing next week. But this weekend, she's in Lamesa. I have a feeling we're off the air in Lamesa. However, all you people up in Lubbock and anywhere around here, you want to go hear Judy Reamer. That woman is astounding. And she will be at the First Baptist Church in Lamesa Saturday, tomorrow, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Right.
So go check her out. She's the real McCoy.
She is.
Love that
She
woman.
is.
Just love her. Okay, so here's your weekend lineup. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we will have Zimmer Levav. That will also be repeating Sunday morning at 1 a.m. and Monday afternoon at 2 p.m. And then a split program. Sandra Barris and Margie Pesdirt, the first hour, and then Savannah Minor, the second hour. That'll air Saturday at 1 a.m., Saturday night at 8 p.m., and Sunday morning way early at 5 a.m. Dr. Charles Scott talking about homeopathy. That will be airing early Saturday morning at 5 a.m., Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m., and Monday very early at 1 a.m. for those people who can't sleep.
That's right.
And then I've actually gotten calls on this program. This was Duran Kedar and John Anderson. This was John's first time here to GLC, and I believe this happened in May. At any rate, it will be airing Saturday at 2 p.m., Sunday at 8 p.m., Monday as you're headed back to work at 7 a.m. This was an excellent, excellent program.
It really was.
So there's your weekend lineup.
Okay.
And I've watched that one 3 times, and I'm going to watch it again this week.
You know what? I probably will watch it a couple more times this weekend, too, because, wow.
Full of information.
Are we
Letter,
ready
please.
for my letter?
We are ready for your letter.
This letter says, Dear Al, Tommy, and Amy, in the days that we live in now, we're seeing the signs of his son coming on everywhere and every hand. I take great encouragement from his word to lift up our eyes when we see these things because our redemption draweth nigh. We are so glad to be a small part of the ministry of GLC when times is so short that thank God for what you do for God, our nation, and especially for Israel. Boy, that's a good point, isn't it? Blessings eternally above you, okay, I'm sorry. Gary and Goldie from Amarillo, Texas, watching by Suddenlink, Channel 20. Thank you.
And I think they're still on
I hope so.
up there.
I hope they are.
Thank you for that sweet note. See, they get it. They're a part of it. It's like, you know, one of my favorite spots that anybody did was Jean-Claude in his little French boots. And he talks about that scripture of it wasn't just the warriors who got part of
That's right.
the booty, the reward. It was those who stood behind, who stayed behind to watch the luggage, however he says it. You know, they guarded the luggage, and yet they still received the same
They did.
award. You know,
The
it's
job
like,
was important.
that's right.
And if you know Gary and Goldie up in Amarillo, call them and say, are you watching? They read your name.
They're watching. They watch.
Alrighty.
Well, this is Love Motivated Warfare by Francis Springabang. Jesus knew this world was a realm under satanic siege. Planet Earth was not a place of peace, but a realm of war. From the casting out of Lucifer and his angels from heaven, to the temptation in the Garden of Eden, to Babylon, and the multiplication of nations under satanic influence, planet Earth has been an embattled world.
Yes.
The idea that somehow our era is less threatened by evil is the height of deception. We must fight if we will follow Christ into victory. No matter how beautiful the world around us seems, remember, there was a serpent lurking in paradise itself. If Adam and Eve had possessed a war mode mentality, they never would have casually accepted the lies of Lucifer. Likewise today, we need to be wise and walk carefully, for the days are evil. And
Amen.
it says so in Ephesians 5:16. You see, Jesus was always aware that he lived in a war zone. No matter what he was doing, whether he was laughing with sinners or driving out demons, whether he was healing the sick or training followers, beneath the surface of his outer activities, the war mode switch in Jesus' mind was always on. A word here to women who find warfare a solely macho topic. I've heard a few women argue, I'm just a housewife, a mom. I don't have a war mode. If your child was seriously sick, wouldn't you fight that illness with everything at your disposal? You would fast and pray. You would do so from your war mode. If your marriage was under spiritual attack, wouldn't you get before God and war with fervency? The fact is, you know how to fight. Ask your husband if he thinks you have a war mode. You just need something to wake it up, because once you begin to shift into the war gear in the Holy Spirit, you are dangerous. You see, the war mode is in us all. It may be attached to our instinct for survival, but it's more directly connected with our love for people. I love my nation, so I'm warring in prayer on its behalf. Because of love for my family, I war in prayer on their behalf. I love my church, my city, and yes, even my own soul, so I war to protect what I love. If there's a natural fight instinct, there is a spiritual fight mode as well. It just needs to be awakened, submitted to Christ, and then unleashed against the enemy. If you have a love mode, you also have a war mode. God has created the war mode so we can protect the people we love. And that was an excerpt adapted from the book, This Day We Fight, by Pastor Francis Frangipane.
It's good.
I think every guy in here was laughing at that.
I was sitting here thinking, I want to live in my house with 2 warriors.
Hey, we are warriors, you know?
I know
Have
that.
to
And you
be.
know what? Quite honestly, Dad, we have to war on behalf of each other. And sometimes
That's right.
it seems like we're warring with one another
Well, we are.
and we're not. When it's like, we have this instinct to protect one another against anything.
Yep.
And especially our own stupid thoughts.
Yeah,
Trust me, I have plenty of them.
don't we all?
You just don't get to see them much. Much. Okay, so this comes from Startup Israel.
Yes.
In October, Israel opened its first science kindergarten, a program whose aim is to expose children to the building blocks that they'll need to succeed in the modern high-tech world at an early age. The kindergarten is equipped with advanced computer equipment, Lego sets that will help kids develop motor skills, robotics activities, and games that stimulate interest in astronomy. The activities in the kindergarten align themselves with a curriculum that's also suited to learning the basic skills needed for a science and computer-based economy.
Israel's education ministry, which is a co-sponsor of the program, hopes to instill within the children a love of research and learning by introducing them to the scientific method at an early age. Education Minister Naftali Bennett, speaking at an opening of the kindergarten last Thursday, said, exposing kindergarten-age students to the sciences will open a window for them into endless activities and challenges. Bennett believes that the project will yield both long and short-term results. We will see the fruit of this venture in the coming years, he continued, and without a doubt, it will have a very positive effect on the lives of these children, and it will greatly benefit Israel.
The kindergarten is located in Beersheba, a town that Israel is reformatting to become the high-tech and startup center of a country which is already known for its flourishing high-tech industry. The kindergarten will contain 3 separate classes and serve up to 100 children. The curriculum will provide at least 300 hours of instruction and training in science and technical subjects during the school year. Also sponsoring the program are aerospace tech firm Lockheed Martin, which opened a research and development center in Beersheba last year, the Beersheba Municipality, and the Rashi Foundation. The Education Ministry hopes that this pilot project will prove successful and likewise hopes to open more such kindergartens across the country.
Subjects taught will include the basics of hard sciences, such as physics, chemistry, astronomy, and robotics. Specialized Lego sets will be brought in to teach children how to build and use robots. Lockheed Martin CEO Marilyn Hewson said about the kindergarten, Israel's continued growth as an advanced high-tech nation requires the development of a younger generation that is well-trained and educated in areas like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are the skills companies like Lockheed Martin need the most.
Houston continued to praise the project and the initiative of the Education Ministry. We're proud to be participating in this project together with the Education Ministry, the City of Beersheba, and the Rashi Foundation, she announced. All of us have the same goal, to help develop science and tech education in Israel, from kindergarten through high school.
Is that amazing?
It's smart.
Wow,
it's really,
smart.
really smart.
It is very smart.
Really, really smart.
It's from Israel. We expect. Well, here's another article that's very interesting. It comes from JNS, and I'm not sure what that is. But Texas energy giant invests in Israel's natural gas. There might be some bureaucratic hurdles, but Israel is an ideal environment for investment, and opportunities are aplenty. That was the message the Jewish state's energy minister conveyed to oil and gas companies during his recent visit to the energy capital of the world, Houston. Ministers of National Infrastructure, Energy, and Water Resources, Yuval Steinitz from Likud, was in Houston October 19th and 20th for a series of meetings and events pertaining to the energy and water industries. America's fourth largest city is home to Noble Energy, which partners with the Israeli company Delek Group in the operation of Israel's two offshore gas fields, Tamar and Leviathan.
Michael Needham Washman, head of the Israeli government's Houston-based economic mission in the U.S. southern region, said Israel is looking for several other nobles, more companies willing to be trailblazers and invest in Israel's burgeoning natural gas industry, which, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, encompasses 6.7 trillion cubic feet and 14 million barrels of gas and oil reserves, respectively.
Wow.
Steinitz's visit came ahead of the imminent resolution of political complications regarding an offshore gas deal that the Israeli cabinet already approved in August in a 17-1 vote. The deal would set a price cap for natural gas sales to Israeli companies and require the gas companies to finish developing the Leviathan field by the year 2020. The deal would also resolve a pricing dispute in which former Israeli antitrust commissioner David Gilo had threatened to designate the Delek Noble partnership as a monopoly.
Despite the cabinet's overwhelming vote in favor of the deal, the agreement's implementation still requires the Israeli economy minister to invoke Article 52 of Israel's 1988 Restrictive Trade Practices Law, which allows the circumvention of objections of an antitrust commissioner in matters of foreign relations or national security. Aryeh Deri, the now former economy minister, had refused to invoke Article 52. On Sunday, the Israeli government approved Deri's resignation as economy minister, paving the way for the gas deal.
We're saying to the oil and gas companies that we're getting to a point where the regulations will be set and there will be the right momentum to look into the opportunities in Israel, especially offshore, but also onshore. Israel's pitch to companies, she said, is that doing business in the startup has significant value beyond the investment itself. I think the environment for companies that will choose to invest in Israel is very good because we have all the systems supporting any companies that will come, Needham Washman said. You're not going to the desert. You're going to a country that has a high-tech environment, and you can get added value on investing in Israel. You can get some innovative technologies in water and other areas as well.
Water, in fact, was the topic of an October 20th panel discussion during Steinitz's visit at the University of Houston. No city on earth, I think, brings together the importance of energy and water more than the city of Houston does, said Mark Ellison, Regional Director of Sales for IDE Americas, the U.S. affiliate of the Israeli water desalination company, IDE Technologies.
Steinitz stressed that Israel has needed to survive and sustain ourselves in a very difficult surrounding and a very dry surrounding. making the water supply issue a very central one since the nation's founding in 1948. Innovation has provided the solution. In Little Israel, with 8.2 million people, there are more high-tech and technological startups than the rest of Europe put together, Steinitz told the crowd at UH. Referring to how Israel desalinates about 70% of its fresh water for domestic use, he said, actually, we don't squeeze natural resources. We leave more and more for nature itself, and most of our drinking water is coming from desalinating water.
Yechiel Lifshitz, Deputy Director General of Israel's Ministry of Infrastructure, Energy, and Water Resources, explained that water in Israel has a different status than what Americans would be familiar with. If you drill or dig in Israel and find a resource, it belongs to the government rather than whoever discovered the resource.
Ellison said that innovation takes place for water in Israel not out of a quest for curiosity, but because of necessity. He said that it's exciting for him to work IDE Technologies, an Israeli company, because it puts him in an environment where everyone thrives on innovation. That's a spirit that you see throughout Israel, and I think it fits very well with the relationship with the state of Texas, said Ellison.
Indeed, due to that spirit of innovation, more than 300 companies have chosen to build R&D centers, research and development, in the relatively small country of Israel, noted Nita Muchman. Doing business in Israel comes as a whole package, she told JNS.org. You have the potential in natural gas, the potential in oil that is already proven, and you also have all the environments that can support your investment. Minister Steinitz, she said, wouldn't expect a company just to come and explore because it's Israel if the prospects weren't economically viable. What the minister tried to show during his visit is that it's a business opportunity for those companies to come, telling them, why won't you be the first to come and explore? Nita Washman said. I think his main objective was to say, as a government, we'll fix all the regulatory issues, so come and see and explore what's here in Israel. Which reminds me about our guest just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Ezra Robbins.
Yes.
With the Jewish National Fund and their water preservation deal that
Which
they're
he was
doing.
a big part of.
It's awesome.
Okay, what's this next one?
Oh, Benjamin Netanyahu and Barack Obama are going to be meeting again next week.
Ooh.
Yes, and it looks like it's going to be pretty tense.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting with President Obama next week is likely to look less like a rapprochement than a showdown at the OK Corral. The flurry of spy stories spinning around in recent weeks makes clear that U.S.-Israel relations remain in crisis.
2 weeks ago, the Wall Street Journal published a fairly detailed account of the U.S.'s massive spying operations against Israel between 2010 and 2012. Their purpose was to prevent Israel from attacking Iran's nuclear installations. The journal report, which was based on U.S. sources, also detailed the evasion tactics the Obama administration employed to try to hide its covert nuclear talks with Iran from Israel. According to the report, the administration was infuriated that through its spy operations against Iran, Israel discovered the talks and the government asked the White House to tell it what was going on. So pray for wisdom and...
Well, I want to share this with everybody because all of us know the story. All of us know the story of Jacob and his struggle with his father-in-law Laban, right? And one of those struggles had to do with spotted and speckled sheep, right? Check this out. I did not know this, and that there are these sheep called Jacob sheep. Now, these happen to be in Canada, but if you Google Jacob sheep, you will find that they're everywhere. We even have some near us here in Texas. I believe it's down in Fredericksburg. So I was like, that's so cool.
Isn't it?
Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. Love you a lot.
Shabbat shalom.